Okay, guys, it is Wednesday night. I'm here with Griffin Tucker, fantastic songwriter, singer, multi-instrumentalist, just Mr. Jack of all trades from Texas. How you doing, buddy?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Now, as everybody can see your posters in the background, you got your Beatles, your Kiss, your AC/DC. That's just cool. That's cool as hell. Who's your favorite band? If you had to pick one of those bands, who would you pick? That's so unfair.
Favorite band. I get on a lot of kicks. I've gotten a lot of kicks over the years. I've gotten on like an ABBA kick, AC/DC kick, Kiss kick, Queen kick. The one band that kind of stays constant throughout all those is the Beatles.
Okay.
I've loved the Beatles since I was like 3 years old, and I haven't stopped loving them since. So I go with the Beatles.
Beatles, okay, fair enough, man. That's awesome. And how long you been playing for?
I started with drums. I
Mhm.
started playing drums when I was 5, and then I moved on to piano when I was 6, guitar when I was 8, bass when I was 9. From then I've moved on to mandolin and ukulele, but I started at drums when I was 5.
And okay, so when you're recording these songs, do you record each separate instrument yourself, like in a studio
All
situation?
all of these songs that I've recorded up to this next album, which is going to be different, but all these songs that I've released up to now, they've all featured me playing everything, singing everything. But with this next album, it will be featuring my band playing most of the instruments. But yes, up to this point, everything has been me.
That's cool. So what? Okay, that's cool, man. So why would you, if you can play all that stuff yourself, why bother with a band? You don't fucking need them, man. You don't need them.
I'm really happy with where the band is right now, because I've been spending a lot of time trying to get the band that I want to be with me whenever I'm playing my own songs.
Right.
And because I do like where we're at, I figured it'd be a perfect opportunity to bring them in the studio and bring some new tastes to the studio, because there's only so much diversity that I can give to myself, you know. So I'm really happy that I'm bringing them in with me, and we're possibly going to be doing some stuff live in the room, like doing the whole rhythm track together, and I think that'll bring a whole new vibe to the songs.
That's cool. That's really cool. Wow, man. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. It's like you're just a young lad. That's good. Good for you, bro. So what's the whereabouts in Texas are you at?
What now?
Whereabouts in Texas are you from?
Oh, Texas. I'm in North Texas.
North Texas. Okay. How's the music scene in North Texas? Are you guys back up and running after all this pandemic shit?
It's not completely like back to normal, but it's certainly allowed for enough gigs that we can keep ourselves busy.
That's good.
I personally have been gigging since May.
Yeah.
Of course, I've been in a Zeppelin tribute band, so that's been very helpful with most of the venues who are bigger, who mostly book tribute bands because they know that people will love that type of music. So I've been playing with that band, but also more recently in the latter half of the year, I've been picking up more gigs with the original projects as they were. But now I'm going to be gearing up for more shows with the new merged original project. That's 4-piece now. Yeah, it's been weird, but it's been all right. You know,
How's
better than it could be.
Yeah, true. How have the turnouts been for that?
How have the what been for?
How's the crowd been for your tribute shows you've been doing?
The crowd has been good. People definitely want to be at the shows, and of course, with the right precautions taken. And of course, these venues have done a really great job of opening up their venues and making sure they're taking the precautions, but also making sure that enough people who at least want to be there can be there. Yeah. So the crowds have definitely been affected, but it's not like nobody can be at the shows while we're just out there playing the shows.
Right.
These venues have done a really great job of helping both musicians and the audience members out.
That's awesome. I was always wondered about that. It's like, now that since people almost went almost a year without live music, do they feel comfortable enough to go back and, business as usual? That's cool. That's good. That's great. It's good for you guys too, because fuck, so many people miss playing shows.
Oh yeah. I feel bad for people because like in California, that's been the place for like, if you want to make music and you want to like meet people who want to play music, you go to California.
Yeah.
But of course, California is like completely shut down right now.
Yeah.
And all these people who are making music, I'm assuming right now, they can't really go out there and play their music because they're not allowed to.
They're not allowed.
So it's I feel really grateful that I'm here and that I at least have an opportunity to play for people live.
Totally, man. That's awesome. So you're 19, you're younger in the game. What's kind of your marketing strategy for these new tunes you've got coming out? Do you have anything like, obviously I think you have a benefit, especially in this day and age, because you got the internet, you're familiar with that, Instagram, that sort of thing. Whereas like the old school guys, they might struggle a little bit with how to, if they can't tour right now, how do they get their new music out there? So what are you doing to kind of push your new stuff you got?
Well, with the new stuff, like you said, it is very tough to know like how I'm going to be able to push it to a new audience. But I actually just not too long ago, I was on this program called Lemonade TV Plus.
Okay.
And it was a live stream. It was a taped live stream concert that I did at the studio, and we did it with some of the greatest like sound technology, and of course the visuals were stunning as well. But Soundfi was running the sound part of the whole project, and basically how, in the same way that these companies have been making innovations for speakers for home theaters so that you can have the best speakers possible, they've been making those same innovations for headphones.
Oh, wow.
So that people are just sitting at home and they just have their headphones on and they're just kind of, doom scrolling through Instagram. They can have really, really nice sounding headphones without having to sacrifice the quality that you wouldn't get with, say, like regular speakers. So things like that. And of course, that was benefiting the Texas Music Project, which benefited the Texas Children's Hospital,
Nice.
which was a great cause. And I was really grateful that I got to be a part of that. And I think that's where I think more people are going to be using live streaming as a way to give their product, another way to give their product to people to audience members, and I'm really hoping that I'll be able to work with them again. I think I'm going to be doing a release party live stream with them.
Nice.
Once I get this new package out. I definitely have some new tracks in the works. We're still working on like how it's going to be packaged. If it's all just going to be singles, it's going to be an album. We're going to make sure we know what we're going to do with that. But I definitely want to be live streaming so that even people who aren't in Texas can watch different things like shows and whatnot. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, okay. So talking about how you want to package your new material, as a guy that's got taste like the Beatles, Kiss, AC/DC, when you sit down and like what's your listening habits? Are you one of these guys that only goes for singles, or do you put on like the White Album and just go for it, track to track? Or do you skip around on your Spotify?
I've been really getting back into vinyl recently.
Deadly.
And I really just love listening to albums all the way through. I think it really takes a lot of work and a lot of I don't know if it's consistency, but a lot of work and a lot of expertise to make really a good full length album. And I was actually just asked not too long ago to make a list of Desert Island discs.
Okay.
And about half of it included like Beatles, and the others were like Wings, AC/DC, Queen, Zeppelin, all those bands. But I personally love listening to albums, and I do know that most people love like the Spotify, like platforms like Spotify, where they can just like shuffle through like all the different bands, different favorite bands, different albums, so they can just like listen to one album from one time period, another song from another time period. So I've been trying to keep that in mind because I selfishly just want to release like all these tracks as an album,
Yeah,
so that it's just like one body of work.
that's right.
But I have to keep in mind that most people don't listen most people don't listen to albums in full length as they might be intended.
That's right.
And it's much easier, especially with digital platforms, to just kind of listen to a single and then kind of lose your attention and kind of want to listen to something else.
I know. I hate that one. I still
So
even on digital, I'll start an album and I just leave it. You know,
yeah,
I'll have to start because I think people don't take into account how much work you guys put into like, okay, well this is the first song and this is track number 2. By the time you get to track 7, it has to be this one, you know, and you paint this picture all the way through. Not just like, well, here's the first song, 30 seconds, click, you know, that annoys the hell out of me. Like I'll start and I'll give you my attention through the whole thing, dude. Like that's
right. It's tough. So I'm really trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with all these songs, but they will be out there in some capacity or another.
Yeah.
It just depends on how it's gonna look, you know.
That's tight. I like that. Are you gonna press it? Are you gonna press it on vinyl? Have you thought about that? That's a lot of money.
It'd be nice to press it on vinyl.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, it does require some money. But it'd be very cool because I'm personally into vinyl, and I honestly just need to get a gauge of what people are looking for. Like if people would want that, if people would want to listen to this album or these singles on vinyl. Just be. I'm trying to figure out what everyone else wants rather than what I selfishly just kind of want to see. You know.
Just press a bunch of 7 inches just for yourself, man. Just every single of yours is on the 7 inch. I got this podcast actually sponsored by a record shop up here in Canada. So shout out Funky Moose Records. You guys listening, if you go on that funkymooserecords.ca, you get 10% off your order at checkout by using the code Limbo at checkout. They ship worldwide. They got some gems. What's your favorite vinyl in your collection right now? Because now you're a vinyl man. We're gonna talk.
I had to pick a list of 5 Desert Island discs, and I couldn't even narrow it down to 5. I had to go to like 10. So okay, I honestly have no clue. But the one that I keep recommending to all my friends is Ram by Paul and Linda McCartney. I think it's been called the first indie pop album.
Okay.
It's a very quirky album, actually. If I had to describe it in one word, it'd be very quirky. It's got a lot of different sounds on it. There's regular like rock and roll, just kind of poppy rock and roll. Right. There's great melodies on it because of course Paul is just the king of melody.
Well, yeah.
And there's so many different sounds on it, and it just flows really well as an album. So if I had to pick one for at least right now, I'll go with Ram.
Yeah, I've heard of Ram, but I don't know if I've actually ever listened to that project. I will put it in my phone right now. Ram. Based on your recommendations.
I have a lot of respect for it for the same reason I have a lot of respect for Sgt. Pepper.
See, that's my favorite Beatles album.
It's a great album. If you listen to it all the way through,
that's just it.
It is a great album. And people have had discussions over whether Sgt. Pepper is better or if Magical Mystery Tour was better. Because Sgt. Pepper is more of like an album, like a conventional album where all the tracks have a general flow to them, have a general like aura to them. They all fit together. Whereas something like Magical Mystery Tour, the whole second side of the album is just a bunch of singles.
Right.
So they're all really great songs, but they don't exactly have
not super cohesive, right? It's kind of
they're not perfectly like consistent, but they all have great quality. And I personally think both albums are equally as great for different reasons, but it's very I personally love the quality that both Sgt. Pepper and Ram have of just a great album that all the songs, they're greater together than they are apart, you know?
Right. 100%. That's awesome. I'll check out Ram. But yes, props for the Sgt. Pepper. I love that. Within You Without You is one of my favorite tunes on that album for sure.
Yeah.
I love that sitar on there. That's so fucking good.
Yeah. George had an amazing ear that he developed while he was with the Beatles, because of course he started with Don't Bother Me, which was it was just kind of a poppy rock. It was just like all the other songs that John and Paul were writing. But he really came into his own by the end of the Beatles' career, because he started writing stuff like Think for Yourself, If I Needed Someone on Rubber Soul, and he started kind of getting into that rock, and then he ventured off into the Indian stuff with Love You Too and Within You Without You and Blue Jay Way, all that type of stuff. And then he really just struck perfection by the end with While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Something, and Here Comes the Sun. He was really just underappreciated even by John and Paul themselves.
Totally. Yeah. He's a hell of a songwriter. That's awesome. I love that. Good for you. All right, man. Well, when are you thinking this album's going to be ready to go?
That's a good question. The only guarantee I can say is that it will be done by the end of the year.
Done by the end of the year? Perfect.
I'm definitely hoping to have the first single released by the end of February.
Okay.
It might be by the end of this month. I honestly don't know. I'm almost certain that it'll be done by the end of February.
Nice.
Beyond that, I'm definitely going to be recording throughout the year. But as far as releasing, it's, of course, as we saw by last year, it's kind of hard to predict anything.
Yeah, you can't.
But yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm really pushing for it to be done by the end of the year.
Nice. Well, any single you get, you guys are welcome to fire it my way. I'll play it for you on my stations and send it to some buddies and stuff like that for you, for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Well, shit. Keep me in the loop when you're doing your live stream, so I can help promote that. I got a pretty solid Twitter game. I'll help with that. And like I said, yeah, send me anything you want. I'll play it for sure. You're a good dude. You got a bright future. I can tell. I can't believe that you're sitting here and you're playing all the instruments, and you're singing, and you're writing the song. Where are you getting your inspiration lyric wise for these songs?
Well, I actually don't write the lyrics for my songs. Okay. I write all the music for my songs. All the music.
Okay.
For the most part, for the majority of all my songs, my mom writes the lyrics. And of course, people ask me all the time, like, I don't know if you've had enough experience to write about those types of topics that you're writing about. And of course, I do think about these types of topics, but I do have my mom help me out with the lyrics, because I just haven't really found the inspiration or the drive or the natural just the natural like feeling for wanting to write lyrics.
Yep.
Whereas with music, it just I just have to. It just kind of comes out.
Yeah.
It's not really forced to I don't have to force myself to come up with a riff or come up with something on piano or feel something on drums or bass.
Right.
So I write all my lyrics, but I usually depend on my mom for all my lyrics.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's all good. It works. Whatever it takes. You're making good music, buddy. That's all that matters.
Thank you very much.
That's all that matters. Thank you. Well, yeah, man. I had a great time talking to you. Like I said, keep me posted with what you got going on. I'm happy to help promote it for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You have yourself a good night. Stay safe. Good luck with all the gigs.
Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.
Later.